A flurry of excitement on the greens, how some golfers are swinging into the season. Overdose alerts what frontline workers are seeing day to day. And innovative ideas, what could help local businesses bring new technologies to market.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with the snowy start to the long weekend in Saskatchewan. With rain dominating much of the weather yesterday and today, snow began falling mid-afternoon in Saskatoon, putting a pause in many people's long weekend plans. But for dry areas, the rain and snow put an end to fire bans. They've been lifted in many rural municipalities, with Corman Park, the RM of Fish Creek, Hoodoo, and Waka all lifting bans they announced earlier this week. A late-season snowstorm has put a freeze on one golf course's plans for the May-long weekend. As Jasmine Pelche reports, Prince Albert golfers will have to wait a few more days to tee off.
I'm going to play terrible, and it's going to be a great time.
Snow was no deterrent Friday morning for some avid golfers at Prince Albert's Cook Municipal Golf Course as we head into the May-long weekend.
Right now, I'm on holidays. I took a day off to be here at Cook Municipal Golf Course.
On Thursday, the golf course officially opened and welcomed 100 golfers to play in the beautiful spring air.
Mother Nature was a little bit on our side, better than today, obviously. But yeah, no, it kicked off the 2026 season. We were very happy with the turnout. The course wintered fantastically, and a lot of great feedback from the guests yesterday.
But by Friday morning, Mother Nature had other plans as the winter weather had returned. While it wasn't quite the same turnout as day one, a few brave souls showed up for a round.
I'm warm. I can't wait to tee off.
Head professional Ryan Wells is less than enthusiastic about the weather.
It's depressing. It's depressing. Winter is over. But no, like I said, it is what it is. You got to stay positive and look ahead.
By Friday afternoon, conditions deteriorated, with snow piling on the ground and the course closing officially around 1 p.m. The spring snow caused Cook Municipal to pull the plug on the Northern Team Championship this weekend, which had more than 140 registered golfers. As of Friday afternoon, Cook Municipal says it's hoping to reopen Sunday at the earliest. This is a late start compared to the past few years when it was able to open in April. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Meanwhile, the province is keeping a close eye on rivers and water flows this long weekend, with rain and snow affecting much of the province. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency says 11 areas remain under a state of emergency because of rising water levels, with 24 active floods across the province. Some rivers have been record flows this spring due to late snowfalls and large snowpack. The Carrot River was measuring at 1,000 cubic meters of water per second, 5 times higher than normal. The Water Security Agency says that's enough water to fill Mosaic Stadium to the top in under 20 minutes.
We will continue to monitor all affected areas and provide updates as conditions evolve. We would also like to take this opportunity to remind residents to remain cautious as they venture outdoors during the upcoming long weekend.
Highways could also be affected by sudden flooding. The Ministry of Highways urges people to check the highway hotline when they are traveling this long weekend. Overnight camping across the province starts this weekend, but low temperatures and strong winds may be keeping some from heading outdoors. Mick Favel caught up with some campers who are braving the conditions this May-long weekend.
Kelly and Chloe Lang are setting up camp. Despite cooler temperatures, they made their way to Buffalo Pound Provincial Park for the long weekend.
Maybe the weather might not have a whole bunch of people out here, but I'm sure if you come out here later, it'll fill up pretty good. Everyone grins and bears it this weekend. Just put a jacket on and stay outside, I guess.
Marlene and Mark Lawar are also not letting the weather get in the way of their weekend plans. The two have been May-long campers for a decade and have seen camping numbers change from year to year.
There's a little less the last couple of years we've noticed. This area is really busy. It's a really family-oriented area because of the playground and the store. But we have noticed some decline in camping over the last couple of years.
There are very few campers in the park today with high winds and cooler temperatures. Over at the local store, the weather plays a big part in how many people will be pulling in over the long weekend.
We have had weekends where we've had lots of snow still that hasn't melted, but this is the first time we've had wind and rain and crazy weather for all 4 days.
In other parts of the province, some parks are still dealing with snow on the ground along with unsafe lakes and water. Park management say everything is up and running at Buffalo Pound, but recommend checking online or calling before heading out the door.
It should be just almost a common thing anybody does throughout the year, just to make sure that you are getting the most current information, whether it be weather issues or fire restriction issues.
Summer nightly camping runs until September 30th. Mick Favel, CTV News, Buffalo Pound Provincial Park.
Well, Jeff, you have a better forecast, but we'll have to be patient.
Yes, unfortunately, it looks as though getting into the next 48 hours or so won't be the most pleasant of tasks if you're camping. But as we make our way towards the latter part of the long weekend, so Sunday and Monday, things looking okay. But yeah, warming back up the seasonal when it's time to go back to work and school. Yeah. Right now, you can really see this line of demarcation, that area, that big curving line there. That's where the cold front is. So we have a lot of active weather along that cold front and a lot of cold air in behind it. And so that cold air will be sticking around. I'll have the numbers for you later on.
Turning now to alarming new numbers from the Saskatoon Fire Department, which show overdose calls spiked to record levels in April. CTV's Laura Woodward has those details.
Firefighters responded to 680 overdoses in April, the highest monthly total on record. That's 288% higher than April of last year.
It's kind of a roller coaster ride. Like there's days we'll have 8 calls of this nature. High teens seems to be kind of our constant standard.
The peak came on April 29th when firefighters responded to 56 overdose calls in 24 hours. In the first 3 months of 2026, crews were responding to about 5 or 6 overdose calls a day. In April, that number jumped to nearly 23. The deputy fire chief says it's too early to say if the surge is linked to the closure of prairie harm reduction.
I'd really kind of shy away from pinpointing any certain cause. There's definitely a gap in service, which last year prairie harm was open and we were seeing the spike. So to attribute it to one specific thing or there's too many moving parts and too many factors.
This map shows the highest concentration of overdose calls remains in Pleasant Hill and Riversdale.
Along the 20th, 22nd Street corridor here down.
But compared to last year, the fire department is seeing more calls in the downtown core and along 8th Street East.
With prairie harm closing, I would say that our call volume has spread out. It's not as centralized as it once was.
The president of the union representing firefighters says the steady stream of overdose calls takes a toll on first responders.
We just go, right? And so if you don't have that downtime to decompress, it starts to weigh on you. We're always going to show up. We'll always be there when somebody makes the call.
So far in May, the city is averaging 15 overdoses a day, on pace to surpass last year's monthly total. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
2 men have been charged after police made a significant drug bust. Here's a look at what was seized. More than 5,200 grams of fentanyl, which are the colored rectangles in this photo. More than 7,500 grams of meth, as well as cocaine. 8 liters of GHB, which is often used to drug and sexually assault victims, was also taken as evidence. The 21-year-old man from Edmonton and 23-year-old Winnipeg man are facing a string of drug trafficking and possession charges. A school on the Sturgeon Lake First Nation was locked down Tuesday after RCMP received information about a possible threat. Officers responded immediately and the school was placed in hold and secure protocol. Class was canceled on Tuesday as a precaution. RCMP determined the source of the initial threat originated from outside of Canada. Further investigation led to a teenage boy from the Sturgeon Lake First Nation, a student at the school, being arrested at home. Officers found and seized a BB gun, knife, and axe from the home. The boy has been remanded until his next court appearance on Wednesday. The 77-year-old man who was reported missing before Christmas has been found dead. Police had released images of Michael Graham from December 16th as he was seen leaving City Hospital. At the time, they said Graham was in a vulnerable state. Investigators do not believe his death is suspicious. His family has been notified. A man serving a life sentence at Saskatoon's Regional Psychiatric Centre has died. The Correctional Service of Canada says 74-year-old Andrew Ian died of natural causes on Wednesday. He had been serving a life sentence that began in February of 1985. As in all cases where an inmate dies while serving time, a review of the circumstances of Andrew Ian's death will be conducted. A 28-year-old man has been charged in connection with a hit and run a little more than a year ago. Saskatoon police had been looking for a silver car and its driver in a crash that happened on 22nd Street West near Avenue Y South the night of April 25th, 2025. A 47-year-old pedestrian was sent to hospital with life-threatening injuries. The 28-year-old driver has since been found and is charged with failing to stop at the scene of a motor vehicle collision involving bodily harm. Innovation Saskatchewan is committing $250,000 over 5 years to Saskatchewan Polytechnic's Digital Integration Centre of Excellence. CTV's Stacey Hine now on some of the work being done at the centre.
From a robotic dog that can take on big tasks in the mining industry to a drone that can help detect minerals in the ground. These projects are part of the work underway at Saskatchewan Polytechnic's Digital Integration Centre of Excellence, which is now receiving a financial boost.
Innovation Saskatchewan is committing $250,000 over 5 years through the Innovation and Science Fund to renew support for Sask Poly's Digital Integration Centre of Excellence.
Innovation Saskatchewan says the funding will help businesses bring new technologies to market faster.
This is a big project with so many achievements.
One project currently in development involves Saskatoon-based Metric Design, which is using artificial intelligence to help with interior design.
So with this AI help, then you would be able to afford a very much cost-friendly service.
When it comes to concerns about AI, the CEO of Innovation Saskatchewan says it's important to balance privacy and safety while still allowing innovation to grow.
Our role is really just to help alleviate those concerns and really show the balance between the opportunity and, the things that need to be done to really protect citizens.
The minister responsible for innovation says it's important to keep pace with technological advancements.
It's incumbent on us to embrace the technology and to ensure that we're giving our institutions the ability to train young people or to train all people that are interested in entering the workspace.
As work continues at the centre, the goal is to use artificial intelligence and data-driven solutions to help businesses solve challenges, boost productivity, and stay competitive. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The city of Saskatoon is testing out a new pedestrian crossing signal next week. The new crossing signals are on Warman Road at Hazen Street and 5th Avenue North. They will operate in temporary flash mode starting Tuesday morning at 10 until Wednesday, depending on weather and testing. The lights will flash red in all directions at Warman and Hazen, with amber flashing lights at the 5th Avenue intersection. The city says the signals will be activated ahead of the start of the bus service at the new platforms on routes 30 and 35. Residents are encouraged to pay attention to the changes. Federal NDP leader Ave Lewis tried to calm concerns about fossil fuel job loss during his stop in the Queen City today. Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck has distanced herself from Lewis over his stance on phasing out fossil fuels, something Lewis says wouldn't be immediate if his party gains power, which would be the first time in federal NDP history. Wayne Mantika has more.
Ave Lewis clarified his controversial stance on fossil fuels during a stop outside a Regina Cathedral neighborhood coffee shop.
I understand that fossil fuels are a big part of Saskatchewan's economy. Nobody is talking about shutting things down tomorrow. I have literally never said that.
Lewis delivered a message in the neighborhood that a federal NDP government would promote a gradual shift to renewables.
And in California, at peak electricity times, they are running almost half their grid on batteries. The world is moving on. And we're not doing fossil fuel workers any favors by sticking our head in the sand and pretending that we can keep expanding oil and gas forever.
A meeting with Saskatchewan NDP leader Carla Beck was not scheduled. Beck has been distancing herself from Lewis over energy policy. However, during a pre-taped interview with Your Morning Saskatchewan, Lewis stressed that the two share common ground on a variety of issues.
We have some differences of visions, but we're aligned on so many things, like this memo that Carla got a hold of this $26 billion Sask power plant to keep coal alive forever and double people's electricity bills. This is bonkers.
The federal NDP leader said he spoke to Carla Beck a couple weeks ago. And while they don't agree on oil and gas policy, they do agree on a vast majority of things, like helping people make ends meet. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
As another long weekend approaches, Saskatchewan students are being reminded about the dangers of impaired driving. Regina DeClute has more on the message being driven home to new motorists.
A gruesome and gory scene for some high school students just outside of Melville on Thursday morning.
I'm in the back of the car stuck, so I'm getting pulled out by firefighters and stuff, and then my character dies later in the hospital.
Luckily, she is fine, even if her character isn't. It's all part of the PARTY program, which stands for Prevent Alcohol and Risk-Related Trauma in Youth, being hosted for the second time by Melville and its emergency services.
So we were putting on a mock accident to show the realism and the impact of drinking and driving, substance abuse, and distracted driving.
After the mock accident, the demonstration continued at the hospital and ended at a local funeral home.
The grade 10s, there's about 40 of them, will sit through a mock funeral and see what it feels like to watch one of their friends suffer the consequences of making poor decisions.
For some students, the exercise was more personal.
Honestly, I've been in a car crash, so it's not fun. So let's hope lots of people learn and see what happens on a site of a car crash.
And for a group of students who'll be getting their license soon, I think it's really important that they get the opportunity to kind of see the risks of driving, and so people are a bit more cautious.
According to EMS, Melville is not in a crisis right now, but they still want to remind everyone of the dangers of DUI.
Because I think it's just a very terrible thing that happens, and I think a lot of people don't know how impactful and dangerous it really can be.
After receiving positive feedback from the community last year, organizers hope to keep the different kind of party going for many years to come. Regina DeClute, CTV News, Melville.
29 women making a difference in our community were honored last night at the annual YWCA Saskatoon Women of Distinction Awards. Jo Custed was this year's Lifetime Achievement Award, honored for her more than 40 years of service to local, provincial, national, and international organizations. The contributions of 8 additional award recipients were also recognized in areas including education, health and wellness, and women in the trades, just to name a few. Jeff and I were honored to MC the event. This year, Saskatoon's YWCA Women of Distinction, presented by Graham, celebrated its 44th year of honoring local women. Still to come, what's next for the Snowbirds? The federal minister set to make an announcement. Also, Alberta and Ottawa make an agreement. What could help pave the way for a better relationship? You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us tonight. A major agreement between Ottawa and Alberta on carbon pricing that paves the way for the construction of the new oil pipeline as early as 2027. That could see oil flowing to the West Coast by 2033 or 2034. It's a big move that could improve political relations, but there are still questions about the environmental impact and how that will play out across the country. Abigail Beeman reports.
This is a big step forward in Ottawa-Alberta relations, with commitments for both the pipeline and lower carbon pricing.
This gives industry the time and certainty needed to plan, invest, and deliver real emissions-reducing projects without undermining competitiveness.
Alberta is pitching this as a big win, both in terms of major savings for the oil industry and progress on its long-standing push for a pipeline to the west coast to reach Asian markets. The new deal signed between the province and Ottawa puts the effective carbon price at $130 a ton by 2040 instead of 2030. Alberta plans to submit its pipeline proposal to the Major Projects Office by July 1st, and Ottawa commits to naming it as a project in the national interest by October, then work to greenlight construction by September 2027. Alberta wants to see oil flowing no later than 2033-34, but there are outstanding issues. All this is promised alongside consultations with Indigenous peoples, some of whom are vehemently opposed. There is no private proponent yet to pay for it, and the Prime Minister maintains no pathways, no pipeline, meaning the carbon capture project known as Pathways, yet the deal doesn't lay out any conditions for that to be built before or alongside a pipeline.
Coming together, making an agreement, moving forward, creating a better future for our kids and grandkids, including, I strongly going to stress this, including with respect to the environment.
And on another topic, electricity, today's deal builds on the Prime Minister's promise yesterday to loosen Trudeau-era clean electricity regulations by basically removing them for Alberta. That's all within the larger goal of doubling Canada's electricity capacity by 2050. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
A landmark ruling by the Supreme Court of Canada today recognizing intimate partner violence as its own legal basis to sue for civil damages. Centered on the case of a woman who was abused during her 16-year marriage, it paves the way for financial compensation beyond assault, battery, and emotional distress. CTV's Adrienne Gabriel on the legal significance and what it means for victims.
I found myself in a very bad predicament.
At 17, Wendy Butler says she thought she'd met her Prince Charming, though for nearly 2 decades, she says she was trapped in an abusive relationship.
I didn't tell anyone because of shame. It took me a long time to leave.
What the mother of 2 says she experienced went beyond physical bruising.
The abuse that I endured, it was physical, emotional, and psychological. And I lost myself.
Today, Canada's highest court ruled in favor of creating a new tort of intimate partner violence. A tort is a legal term for a civil claim that allows a person to seek damages after being harmed.
The law already gave victims the ability to seek redress for physical assault and for sexual assault.
This new tort recognizes that intimate partner violence isn't always physical or sexual.
Coercion and manipulation, humiliation, isolation.
As part of Justice Nicholas Kazirur's 200-page ruling, the case briefing outlines that a victim must show that their partner intentionally engaged in abusive conduct and that the conduct amounted to coercive control when viewed in context. Today's a big day.
It is a very big day.
For survivors who can now seek justice after years of being controlled, confined, and psychologically harmed.
There have been few, if any, decisions in my 25-year legal career that has been as consequential to the field of gender-based violence as this one today.
If there's someone watching right now who's in a violent relationship, what would your message be to them?
There is hope. There's a chance for new beginnings.
This new legal pathway for survivors will develop and evolve in the courts over the years and decades to come. Many hope it will also drastically decrease intimate partner violence and abuse of all kinds. Adrienne Gabriel, CTV News, Angus, Ontario.
The Minister of National Defence is set to hold an update on the future of the Canadian Forces Snowbirds early next week. An announcement is scheduled for Tuesday at 15 Wing Moose Jaw from Minister David McGuinty. Questions have been swirling in Ottawa this month over the future of the Snowbirds, facing the possibility that the team could be grounded for years after this season. Pressed by the Conservatives last week, McGuinty said the team would continue air demonstrations for as long as the aging Tudor fleet is feasible and safe. The presidents of both the U.S. and China are conveying positive signals following Donald Trump's visit to Beijing as other countries closely analyze the aftermath. The two superpowers are still locked in disagreements on several economic and geopolitical fronts, but as the war with Iran continues, Trump says Xi Jinping agreed with him that Tehran should not be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon and that the Strait of Hormuz needs to be reopened to support global energy demands. As for the hot button issue of Taiwan, Trump says he didn't respond when Xi told him he was opposed to the island's independence.
I didn't say anything about it, but certainly, he brought that up. He talked about that to me, obviously. So what am I going to do? Say I don't want to talk to you about it because I have an agreement that was signed in 1982. No, we discussed arms sales too.
And what's his request?
We discussed the Taiwan, the whole thing with the arms sales was in great detail, actually.
That's a reference to a major arms package authorized by Trump's administration in December. He said he would decide how to proceed and didn't respond when asked if the U.S. would defend Taiwan from China. Well, Jeff, I think it's going to be a mixture this weekend. Some people will brave the outdoors, others not so much.
Yeah, and the good news is they may not have to really brave things. It just might be really annoying. You got to put on more clothes. As once again, the old saying, there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing. But a lot of people had put the right kind of clothing away. And yeah, you're going to have to break out some of that as we roll into tomorrow. The good news is the snowfall is starting to taper off, Chantel, and ring itself out and move more further eastward. But we'll talk more about that later on. Right now, it is still snowing in Saskatoon, Prince Albert, and the Battlefords. The Battlefords get a bit of a rain-snow mix right now. And the winds have started to die down a little bit, but still on the moderate side and out of the north. And so that's a cold wind. Taking a look at the almanac for Saskatoon. Well, 8 degrees, just like yesterday. That little asterisk means that was the temperature at midnight. So throughout the overnight period into the afternoon, it kept dropping down to about 0 degrees. That's where we are right now. So for the moment, that's our 24-hour cold temperature. 18 is typical for this time of year. The record warm temperature for the 15th of May, 35 degrees in 1931. The record cold from 2009, that was -4. And the sun is going to go down at 6 minutes before 9.
Coming up, helping women and girls buck tradition. The lessons helping females excel in a male-dominated sport.
We're off for the long weekend, but when we return, we are in conversation with federal NDP leader Avi Lewis about his recent Saskatchewan stop and rebuilding his party.
Alrighty, well, the mottled lens of the Skycam, and then you can see in an almost horizontal fashion. Yeah, it's windy. Look at that! Look at that snow as it sort of whips by. Yes, we got ourselves an interesting evening setting up. But the good news is the winds are starting to back off, but the snow continues to fall. There's that line that I talked about earlier on, that cold front sagging down through the province, and of course we have all that moisture coming in out of the Pacific, and well, the moisture hits the cold Arctic air, and kabam, you've got yourself some snow, and that snow is going to continue into tonight, and then starting to move out of the area in terms of Saskatchewan by tomorrow. So let's take a look at our numbers just to recap. 0 degrees in Saskatoon and Prince Albert, 2 in the Battlefords, and all 3 locations dealing with some sort of precipitation, snow, but the Battlefords get some rain mixed in with that. Estevan, the hot spot today at 20 degrees, so not a bad day down in the southeastern part of the province, but it was very windy. Collins Bay, -7 degrees for the cold spot for a second day in a row. 2 degrees in Lloydminster, 12 in Swift Current, 6 in Regina and Yorkton, 15 in Estevan. In central parts of the province, quite a wide range of temperatures here, going from -2 degrees in Melfort to 11 in Kindersley. Although, to be clear, most locations are hanging around the 0 degree mark or close to it. Making our way up north, minus temperatures of -1 in Collins Bay and South End, 2 in Stony Rapids and La Ronge, 3 in Key Lake, 4 in Buffalo Narrows, Sandy Bay, Island Falls in at 0 degrees. degrees. Down south, well, double-digit temperatures in a number of locations, but those temperatures aren't breaking any records, that's for sure. 16 degrees in Maple Creek and Carlisle, but it gets as cool as 1 degree, and that's in Last Mountain Regional Park. 6 degrees in Melville and Indian Head, 5 in Outlook and Elbow, 12 in East End, 14 in Coronach. Now on to our futurecast. So this is what I was talking about. You can see that purple area is shrinking in size, and what is happening, and some of it is moving along with that cold front, and that as the low pressure center moves further east, you can see it moving through the Hudson Bay, James Bay area up into northern Quebec, and in behind it, the pressure lines are a little close together down in southern Saskatchewan, but starting to ease up in other parts of the province. So we'll see less windy conditions in many parts of Saskatchewan. Temperatures of around 7 degrees for northern Saskatchewan with cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. 8 degrees the expected high in Meadow Lake, Kindersley, and Rosetown. Kindersley and Rosetown expected to be dealing with some rain on Saturday. Cloudy in Spiritwood and 4 degrees. 16 degrees in Maple Creek. Leader, a risk of a thunderstorm and some showers. 12 degrees, 9 in Outlook, 13 in Swift Current. On to the southeastern part of the province, where we do anticipate about a 60% chance of flurries in the Yorkton area, a high of 9, and then temperatures in the low to mid-teens with mainly cloudy skies in Regina, Moose Jaw, and Estevan. Single-digit temperatures in east central Saskatchewan, 3 in Melfort, 6 in Hudson Bay, 8 in Wadra's Humboldt, expecting a little bit of flurry activity, and 4 degrees on Saturday. The Battleford's dropping down to 0 degrees tonight, continuing with that rain-snow mix. The winds back off a little bit. They pick up a bit tomorrow. Still a chance of some flurries and a high of 3 degrees for the Battlefords. And then as we take a look at holiday Monday, 15 degrees, and then warming up to 20 by Thursday. Prince Albert's overnight temperature, -2 degrees, and an additional 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. 5 degrees tomorrow with cloudy skies, and then 12 on Sunday. Manageable, okay for holiday Monday, still below seasonal with mainly cloudy skies, and then up to temperatures of around 18 degrees Tuesday through Friday. Friday, a chance of some showers. And for Saskatoon, -1 with a 60% chance of flurries. Less windy conditions in the overnight. The winds pick up tomorrow afternoon, a moderate wind out of the east, 6 degrees for a high, 9 on Sunday, but it comes with a chance of showers. 14 on holiday Monday, but back to seasonal numbers just in time to get back to work. There you go. All right, the hips don't lie. Shakira, Madonna, and K-pop superstars BTS are set to headline the first ever FIFA World Cup 2026 halftime show on July 19th at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium. The soccer match is expected to draw millions of viewers worldwide. The halftime show, curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin, will be produced by Global Citizen and support FIFA's Global Citizen Education Fund, which aims to raise $100 million US to expand access to education and soccer programs for children around the world.
In golf, there is a saying, play it as it lies.
Oh, mama, I'm back. Oh, I'm not back.
A new golf comedy is coming to Netflix. Will Ferrell stars in the comedy series Hawk as Lonnie Hawkins. He was the best golfer in 2004, and now on the back nine of his career, he's trying to recapture some of his former glory. It starts streaming in July. Another publicity stunt from Drake as he releases 3 new albums. The rapper released a stream of featured music videos for his album Iceman, and to promote it, 75 projectors were used to make it appear as if the CN Tower was frozen. Near the end of the stream, Drake revealed that in addition to his Iceman album, he's also releasing 2 other projects, Made of Honor and Habibti.
All right, Jeff, a special trio of picks of the day.
This certainly is. Let's start off with this one. This comes to us from Melissa. Nina stopping during her evening walk to take in the prairie sunset in Melville. All right. Yeah, the dogs appreciate a nice sunset. This next one comes to us from Jeff. Jeff sent us a couple of photos from Riders Training Camp in Saskatoon. Jeff says, Roland Milligan, number 0, makes a spectacular interception, was lucky to catch the shot. Yes, you had a couple of really nice ones there, but this is the one we chose. So thanks, Jeff, for sending that. And, of course, it's always great to have the Riders having training camp here in Saskatoon. Finally, from Gail. Gail writes, these are pictures of my mother, Helen Schreiner, which we'd like to share for her 103rd birthday on May the 15th. So congratulations, Helen and Gail. Thank you for sharing those pictures with us. And we certainly want to pass along our best for her 103rd birthday and many more. So thank you for sharing that picture. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. And please, I'm begging you, put pick of the day in the subject line.
Still to come on CTV News, sliding into the saddle, how an Alberta program is teaching the art of holding on for 8 seconds. Alberta program is helping women and girls buck tradition by launching their careers in a fast-rising rodeo sport. Alicia Fieldberg gives us a look at the women's-only Ranch Bronc School.
One hand on the horn, the other on the rein, boots in the stirrups, and muscles activated. Riders start training on a bucking machine at Women's Only Ranch Bronc School before switching to a wildly kicking horse and trying to hold on for 8 seconds.
I love feeling the adrenaline. I like challenges. I always like the rough, gruff things in life. It's just a lot of good energy and a lot of fun.
Women's Ranch Bronc Championships started in the United States in 2016 due to high demand from female athletes wanting to compete in the men's division. The sport is rapidly gaining popularity in Canada, Australia, Europe, and Mexico, and attracting a lot of attention on TV and online.
And it's easier for us to actually spread it and show that the girls can do it and be good at it.
This school near Cochrane runs twice a year, and it's fully booked with a wait list, which is no surprise to some riders.
When I was in grade 3, we had to do an assignment. It was, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, I want to be a female bronc rider. And everyone kind of laughed in my class, right? You're a woman, you can't do that. And now look at me.
They say learning the ropes together with a focus on safety and mindset gives them a leg up, and not just in the sport.
If I'm, nervous to go scrambling on a hike, I can do this, why can't I do that? And it's just helped to push me a little further in other aspects and other sports and trying new things. I just hope to continue having fun and trying to keep doing better every single ride.
Which is why some people who sign up don't even intend to compete.
Some of those girls that come in for the confidence and just in general, and they'll do well, and then they get a fire in them.
The school aims to empower, and riders hope that catches on too. In February, Bailey Zelke was the only Canadian competing in Ranch Bronc in the Hawaii Ranch Rodeo and beat out all the other women and men to win the buckle.
Pretty incredible to watch the sport grow, and I hope that it inspires other little girls to believe they can do big things for themselves.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, near Cochrane.
When we come back, the aftermath of a spring windstorm in southern Saskatchewan, and later the small singing sensation from Saskatchewan.
All right, time to take a look at our rural forecast for tomorrow. And things are starting to calm down, shall we say. Still a little bit of flurry activity along the Alberta-Saskatchewan border or thereabouts. Kindersley expecting rain, Lloydminster expecting snow. And then we get into cloudy conditions, temperatures warming up a little bit by the time we get down to Outlook, up to 9 degrees. I know it's not a heat wave, but it's warmer than 4 and 3 degrees, and that's what we've got in Melfort. 6 in Hudson Bay and Wynyard. Yeah, a bit of snow in the Wynyard area, about a 60% chance. Then we get into some double-digit temperatures, and consistently, it's still below seasonal, but sort of in and around that 14 or 15 degree mark for many locations. Leader, still a chance of some thunderstorm activity. That's a possibility. It's a greater possibility in Alberta and parts of British Columbia, but not so much in Saskatchewan. And then as we take a look at Kenora, 8 degrees with some snow in the area, 12 as we make our way into southern Saskatchewan, and in the down towards Carlisle, 14 degrees. So that's how things are shaping up for those communities. What about Nakem? Well, I can tell you that in Nakem, We're anticipating some flurries tomorrow, about a 60% chance, 7 degrees for a daytime high, and not expecting a particularly strong wind in the area as well. And just a reminder that NACM is one of the places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
As Saskatchewan deals with the wet weather, areas in southern Saskatchewan are picking up the pieces of yesterday's windstorm. Gusts measured 115 kilometers an hour in the Radville area. Jacob Carr on the impact in other parts of the province.
The aftermath of severe weather across southern Saskatchewan still being felt a day later.
The strongest from our stations was reported at Radville, 115 kilometers an hour as maximum wind gusts. Other areas experienced well over 100, Climax at 109 kilometers an hour, Milestone at 107.
Causing dust storms and damaged trees in some areas, including Regina, where gusts reached just under 100 kilometers an hour. Local ice cream shop Elle's Cafe having to close down temporarily due to a tree falling and breaking a section of their fence. The storm also left thousands in the province without power.
We had more than 100,000 customers in Saskatchewan that had an outage at some point during the wind event. In Regina alone, about 50,000 customers had an outage at some point. So it was a pretty significant and extensive event.
Crews working through the night to repair transmission structures damaged by the high winds. While Desjardins says the severe weather has passed, there are still after effects that should be taken into consideration as storm season ramps up.
When we are traveling at those high wind speeds on highways, especially, any high profile vehicle is at risk of being overturned. And so that causes a hazard as well when driving.
As of Friday afternoon, power had been restored to the majority of customers in the south. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Manufacturing sales were up in March, coming in at over $73 billion. Morella Fernandez has more.
Petroleum and coal products did the heavy lifting, with sales totaling $9.4 billion. That's almost a 23% gain from February. The number of sales didn't rise, but prices were up because of the disruption in the Middle East. Sales of transportation equipment are also up 6% in March. Clothing gained over 9%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar ended the week at $72.86. West Texas Intermediate up over $4 to 105.42. Western Canadian Select is up to 80.35. And the TSX lost over 400 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Coming up, the simple plan to get a Saskatchewan girl to sing. Then the Saskatoon students telling us the sun will come out tomorrow.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here tonight on CTV. Well, a Regina girl is going viral on Instagram after a heartwarming video of her singing Perfect by Simple Plan captured the attention of thousands. Katie, known on social media as the mom next door, shared this clip of her 2-year-old daughter, Sky, singing along with the emotional hit. Katie says Sky has always loved to sing, but this is one of the first times they managed to catch the performance on camera without her noticing. The adorable clip gained even more attention after Simple Plan shared the video to the band's Instagram story to show Sky some love. It currently has over 131,000 likes on Instagram.
Pretty impressive.
She's adorable. So sweet.
That's not how we would describe the weather forecast as we roll into tomorrow, but it's not as nasty as today. But let's take a quick look and see what we've got going on. We can show you that we're expecting the temperature to be in the single digits mid-afternoon, around 5 degrees, but a cloudy day and a bit breezy in the afternoon. So just make it through the day and then we'll see what happens. So, yeah. You know, it's like it's been one of those.
Gotta bundle up, I guess.
Got to bundle up, and if you got to get in the mood with all this snow, why not put on a Santa hat? Yeah, I meant to wear this during the forecast, but I forgot I had this prop So there you go.
It's not really the spirit of Santa, though.
No, exactly. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Everybody, come on, sing along.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, we know it's May long weekend in this happen, but
yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Exactly.
Well, even if Jeff can't promise the sun will come out tomorrow, some Saskatoon students sure can. It's a hard knocks life for students at Silverwood Heights Elementary School, where Annie the musical is set to take to the stage. 244 kids are taking part in the performance, which features both a junior cast and a senior cast. There are 6 shows, which run May 19th to the 22nd, so just after the long weekend. Showtime is an hour, and we are told that they still have tickets, so it'd be a great thing to take in.
That's a ton of kids.
That's great.
Which is fabulous. They all get to participate, and it's a classic musical, a contemporary classic.
We'll leave you with some highlights. Have a safe and happy long weekend.
Bye now.
Get to work. Strip them beds. I said get to work. It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock.